Oh, there we go. Apparently the chat's connected now. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I can't win lately with my streams. I really can't. I don't know why in like the last like my stream's never been perfect to begin with. I've always had video issues in general. Just because again, I think part of it's my internet. I think part of it's the piss poor equipment I'm using to actually do anything with. I think I'm trying to do too much on not enough power, basically. Um, but I would say in the last 2 to 3 weeks ish, I would say it's gotten worse. Like to now where like software is actually crashing quite often. Um, and I get like major like freezing, lagging, the whole 9 yards, and nothing's changed as far as I know. Which leads me to believe I'm having issues with my internet. Like it's more internet now than equipment issues, but I don't know. I do know I definitely still either way need better equipment. Like the what I'm running on now, which I've now been running off of for about 3 to 4 months now, is definitely better than what I was using before. Um, but it's still not really that powerful overall. I hope so. I really do. Because like I know Bell, which is who I'm with. I know when they first set us up, and they've admitted this, like the lines that are here and everything are like old as shit, um and the problem is they don't want to upgrade the lines because it's too expensive. Basically, it's one of those scenarios where it's like, oh, it's going to cost us a lot of money to put it correctly, so we're going to take our chances and hope that it lasts forever. But the truth of the matter is, it won't. And when it does, it's going to cost them a lot more than if they just did it right the first time, right? But, that's on them, I guess. But one of the things that has happened is we already have, even though we're not with, like, the condo corp is not with Bell yet, every single unit in the condo, on the property, has bell boxes with lines running to it, like proper lines running to it. So they're not connected, obviously, yet because we're not connected yet. But I'm hoping that when we get connected, I'm hoping that that's going to improve even my existing internet, and that's without the upgrade. But with the upgrade in speed, hopefully lagging and stuff like that won't be an issue, and then it's just a matter of getting better actual, like a better PC and everything for streaming. I really should bug my friend Chris though. Like he streams and he's been streaming for quite a few years, like much longer than I have. and he's actually got a fairly successful stream actually. Because like he's a Twitch partner and everything already. Like he's got subscribers, etc., etc. Like, man, I want to go to his profile. And he has always said that I can bug him about PC issues anytime. Can I not get to his profile from here? Apparently not. Oh, there we go. Yeah, he has 2.8k followers on Twitch. So almost 3,000 followers. And his stream obviously looks a million times more professional too. But he knows what he's doing. Like he understands all this stuff a lot better than I do. I don't know how many subscribers he has though. But I do know he has subscribers. I've been in his streams. He almost exclusively only plays EVE Online.
What is this material?
Like, I've seen him play the odd other game. There was a stream he did with his wife where they played PGA 2K1 when it came out, which was hilarious because she totally kicked his ass. You remember? I don't know if you were in the stream the other day when I was talking about people trading in consoles for the new consoles, and I mentioned a woman who worked at the store next door to me. Always traded in whenever there was new colors for the DSs, and she'd always get like whatever one of the new colors every time a new DS came out. Yeah, that's his wife. That's who I was talking about. That's actually how I met her initially. I already knew him, but I had never met his wife until I started working at that location. Yeah, and that's when I met her. I knew she was there, but I had never actually met her in person. And then when I started working at that location was when I met her. And yeah. But yeah, she's a gamer too, and they're super competitive. All their kids are gamers as well. But he streams like professionally. He's one of the guys that used to work with his wife. Has a podcast group called Rabble Press, and my friend Chris is on those podcasts as well. They do a bunch of different podcasts. The only one they're actively doing right now is called Scotch Sporting, which is basically a sports podcast. It's primarily ran by this guy Tyler, who used to work with his wife, and this girl who I don't know. But so it's her, Tyler, my friend Chris, and then sometimes another Chris I know, who's a mutual friend of Chris and myself, is on there. And then there's another guy named Mark as well, who I used to work with as well. They're not always all on every single week. But but that's the only one that's actively going. It did stop for a while, the podcast, mainly because uh, Tyler just got really busy with stuff. He had gotten married, and um, he was uh, they ended up renovating their entire house. Like, I saw pictures of it and stuff like that. Like, they gutted the entire house, stripped it down to the bare bones, added a whole nother floor to it, the whole 9 yards. It looks really nice, and he was doing most of the work himself. So uh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I do this more for fun myself personally, like getting more followers and stuff like that. Obviously, yeah, that's still that is a goal, but it's not something I'm obsessed about. Like, I don't mind that my channel has grown slowly. It's fine with me. Um, I have thought about looking to partner up with people and so forth, to mutually like advertise each other and stuff like that. But I don't feel comfortable making that offer or suggesting that at this point because, again, because of the consistent issues I have with streaming to begin with, right? Um, but down the road, maybe that might be something that might happen, and so it's definitely not a bad way to go. Yeah, I mean, especially if I understand what you're saying, because especially if you jump, there's a couple bigger streamers that I do watch and so forth, and it is hard to join that because you're the newbie kind of thing, and not everyone's going to necessarily hear you and so forth. And a lot of those bigger streamers too, they don't, at that point when they're getting the subscriptions and stuff like that, they won't talk to people unless you're a subscriber. And so, like, unless you're willing to fork over money to them, um, on a monthly basis, they're not going to talk to you anyways. Like, I've seen that in some bigger streams. Like, they'll completely ignore people posting unless they're actually a follower, right? Or like a subscriber, not even a follower, an actual subscriber. I've been in some where that's not the case, which is cool. Like, they'll talk to anybody, and that's great. Um, yeah, exactly what you're saying there. Like, the donation, exactly. Um, there's the first streamer I ever followed. Um, her channel's not as big as it once was. But even when it was big, when I first started following her, she never ignored anybody. Or at least she tried not to, anyways. Obviously, she would miss messages occasionally, being a large channel. Like, when I first started watching her streams, she probably had an average of like 300 to 400 viewers at all times. And she still occasionally hits that number occasionally, but not very often anymore. Um, and But she didn't ignore people. Like, if I posted something, even though I was just following her, I wasn't a subscriber, she still responded to my messages. I started following her on Twitch and or on Twitter and Instagram and all the other social medias. I follow her on TikTok and so forth as well. And she actually has always replied to my messages. I don't know if she knows exactly who I am, but I think she knows who I am well enough that she does still reply when I post stuff lots of times. Um, and she was and she actually ended up gifting me a subscription to her Twitch herself because again, I don't know if she intentionally gifted it to me or what, but she did. But I got a gifted subscription from her, and I actually renewed the subscription for about 6 months before I finally stopped, just because I needed to save the money. But it wasn't that expensive for the 6 months that I did, and I didn't mind doing it because it was fine. And now, even when I'm back to not being a subscriber, again, she still talks to me when I do send her a message or whatever. Um, so yeah, in that sense, now she does have a bit of an attitude. I remember, what was the thing I said? She posted something on Twitter about people think she's a bitch and so forth and whatnot, and but only because she calls out stupidity. Otherwise, if you're not being stupid, and I say, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but I said something like, "Yeah, you've done it to me a couple of times, but in fairness, I was being stupid in those moments." And she was like, "LOL, it's true, right?" And it's like, but otherwise, she's a nice person. Um, and I didn't see what this painting was called. I wasn't paying attention. Shit. Um, but yeah, so she's still whatever, and it's like it doesn't matter. And I don't agree with everything she said, like does and says, but I mean, overall, she's a nice person, and I think she means well, so I don't care. Um, but I mean, she was a pro gamer for a while too, so but she was in that. I'd never even heard of it actually. There was a reality show called Controller, and I guess I think it only ended up being one season, but they were playing Battlefield 3, and it was basically a pro gamer teamed up with some rookie, and the pro gamer had to teach the rookie how to play the game. And there was like these challenges that had nothing to do with gaming in between that she even says on the show she absolutely hated. Um, and she made it to the finals. And in the finals, it's like, okay, to actually win, the pro gets to play this time. And so it was the pros against each other. And it was like three people in the final. One of them, who I actually had always heard was a pretty cool dude, he completely like chickened out and said, "No, I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I'm not playing." Everyone kept saying, because she was the only female pro gamer on it, kept saying, "Oh, she's a girl. She would never beat us. She would never beat us." So they fight. He refuses to play. A lot of people now speculate that he refused to play because he knew how good she actually was. Um, and then so she ended up playing the other pro, just again, like just the two of them, and she like destroyed him, like absolutely destroyed him, and she won the whole thing. Well, her and her rookie won the whole thing. So it's like, yeah, yeah, for sure. I will tell you this. So the only other streamers I really follow are because I'm a wrestling fan and so forth. So I follow some of the wrestlers that are streamers as well. And the other night I was watching former WWE star Tyler Breeze. He had a stream going um, with the rest of the guys from the Up Up Down Down channel that he used to be a part of as well. Um, so him, Adam Cole, who's no longer on Up Up Down Down because he went to AEW, and then Cesaro and Xavier Woods from the WWE that are still part of Up Up Down Down. It was the four of them streaming together, and it was actually Tyler Breeze's stream, but three of them were in there with them on camera and everything. And at the end of it, um, uh, Tyler's like, "We're gonna raid somebody," because he it was a charity stream they were doing that he was doing, and he was doing a charity stream for like an animal shelter or something. And at the uh, at the end of the stream, he goes, because he had like I think almost 2,000 viewers at that point. At the end of the stream, he's like, "We're gonna raid somebody," and he looked for somebody with he tried to find somebody with like less than 100 viewers, and he found some girl with like 60 viewers or something like that. And the timing was perfect because she was in between games. She was taking a break, so she was just talking to her chat at the time. She wasn't actually in game at the time when it switched over with the raid. And um Adam Cole, Tyler Breeze, Cesaro, and Xavier Woods all then gifted like 20 plus subs each, made a couple donations and so forth. And a lot of the people from Tyler Breeze's stream itself also then ended up subscribing and gifting subscriptions as well. And she was like overwhelmed. And it was actually kind of really nice to watch her like just become overwhelmed with it. Like, because she's like, I've never had a raid this big. And like her subscription total went up like almost like triple in a matter of minutes. Uh, so yeah, it was kind of cool to see. Like I was like, okay, that's cool. Like I still watch Up Up Down Down. It's not the same though now that they don't play Uno anymore because again, since Adam Cole left, that ended that because it was those same four guys that would play Uno every week. And they were still playing even after Tyler Breeze left WWE. He was still allowed to be on it, but apparently he's now no longer allowed to be on the channel anymore either. And my guess is that he's probably signed with another wrestling company, which is probably why he's not allowed to be on there anymore. I don't even see this painting. Yeah, I mean, heck, I was a fan. I've been a fan since I was a kid, pretty much. And I think my first wrestling event I ever saw was like WrestleMania 2, which was like what, 86, 87, something like that. But maybe 85, I don't know. Anyways, I during the whole Monday Night Wars thing between Raw and Nitro back when WCW was like at its height of popularity, I still preferred WWE over WCW back then, even though most people were like WCW, WCW, and like the ratings showed it. A lot of my friends were convinced that WCW was the better product now and so forth. And, you know, maybe in hindsight, now looking back at it, I can probably say, yeah, maybe it was. But for me, it was still WWE. Um, there was just something about it. Um, I don't see the name. I do not see this painting in the list of paintings. But anyways, I have to say I enjoy AEW a lot more than I enjoy WWE right now. Um, don't get me wrong, I still think there's some huge issues that AEW has that I think they need to desperately fix. Otherwise, it's going to eventually come to bite them in the ass. Um, but overall, I would say so. It says it's Perfect Painting because I did miss the name. Perfect Painting. Where's Perfect Painting? Oh, that's why there's no picture of it because there's no fake. Cool. Um, yes. Anyways, like I said, I there's a couple things they definitely need to fix, but overall, I'd say AEW is a much better product than WWE these days. It AEW, I will say so for me, AEW. I did watch the first time it was available on TV here in Canada, which was like literally, I think like a week after it actually started, after AEW Dynamite actually started, I think is when it became available in Canada. It might have been the same week. I don't actually remember now, but when it first became available, I did watch it, and I watch it every week. We don't get Rampage though, which kind of sucks, but whatever. Um, but I watched Dynamite, and I really did enjoy the show. But at that point, I wasn't convinced yet, like because it was one of those ones where it was like, can they maintain this? Like, yeah, it was a good show, but whatever. It wasn't enough to convince me that they could give WWE like a good run for their money. Now, I'd say yeah, 100%. They've got it. Like I'd say the show Dynamite's progressively gotten better and better and better. I think it's only gonna keep getting better. Um, so yeah, I think they've got a much better show overall. But like I said, there's definitely things they need to fix. Like my biggest issue is still the tag team stuff. It's gotten better, but it's still not great. I don't like that. Like they, apparently, like in AEW, instead of the normal 5 count between like for your to do your double team after a tag, in AEW it's a 10 count. But if you watch 90% of the time, the referees are not counting it at all. And that's the thing, the referees don't count a lot. That's my biggest issue is actually the refereeing in general in AEW. Um, I understand that the referee should not have that much of an impact on the actual match, but if they're not actually doing their job, i.e., counting when somebody's choking somebody out or got somebody backed in the corner or any of the normal stuff that they should be counting for, then they're just taking up space. And the thing is it's actually more noticeable um, when that happens, right? It's more noticeable that a referee is not doing their job than if they're doing their job. Um, Now fuck off with the axes. Um, so yeah, like that's one of the things that has to be fixed. That's probably the glaring thing is just the piss poor refereeing. Um, they need to definitely acknowledge that. And I mean, it has gotten a little bit better. I think FTR showing up there definitely helped with that. Because they are very old school tag team. And the thing I love about it too is if you actually watch FTR's matches, and I've